Hey, this is me building and strategizing my 500 grand a year consulting business right in front of your eyes. And what you're watching right here is a daily video series that always follows the exact same format. I start by answering your questions, meaning that on this channel you're watching right now, you can go ahead in the comment section down below and ask any question for me that you might have around your business, your offer, your bottlenecks, pricing, whatever it might be, just like Jack and Hamad here. Once I've answered all of the questions, I dive into business stats, where I show you the growth of all my social channels and also how much money the business is doing. And then last but not least, I'm doing some strategy where I'm brainstorming on how I'm planning to get to 2 million a year, because over the last 2 years, I've averaged 500 grand a year in profit. I have taken my previous and first coaching business to 2 million a year, but I did it with a big team, low profit, and a lot of stress. So this time I'm doing it differently. I'm only taking calls 3 days a week with clients. I don't do sales calls. I acquire all of my clients inbound through my own little world that I call the digital coffee shop. And then I operate my business at 80% profit. All right, let's get into it. This, people, here is the channel that you're watching, the Daily Updates channel. And if you ask any question down below, you'll end up here just like Jack and Hamad, and then I'll answer your question in tomorrow's video. All right, so any question you might have. So we start off with Jack here. Sorry for the length, trying to prove the context I was missing before. Great stuff. The more context, the better, people. It's very hard for me to answer a question with little to no context, because information only holds value in the context that it is provided. So I can give you one answer to a question, but if I misinterpreted the purpose of your business or the actual bottleneck, then it's not a good answer. So just like Jack here, feel free to send longer context because it benefits everyone. Brother, this is a great content and a brilliant opportunity to pick your brain. So thank you. I'll keep asking questions. Great stuff, man. My biggest bottleneck is my time. I'm primarily doing a one-to-one consultancy coaching, wanting to make this far more leveraged. My assumption is having my own inner circle, but in order to do that and replace the high proximity with me, I need some form of client pathway and content so that I can have a more leveraged delivery system. This is the thing that's been on my plate to do for so long. How would you think about creating this and then constructing this new offer to the marketplace? The current month one price is £1,000 a month. I'm assuming this will be priced around £500 a month. B2B offers will ideally increase with time. For transparency, I had 2 people sign up and churn within 4 months. The reality is that they had less proximity to me, but not enough of a pathway to replace the proximity. Great question and great amount of context. There's a lot of moving pieces to this. I got a lot of ideas when I read it out loud. But let's take it from one end here, Jack. So first of all, I want to challenge if delivery is really your main kind of like bottleneck when it comes to your time. So the best way to find out where you spend the majority of your time is to do time tracking. It's where you fill out a little sheet every single day of the week. I think I have a template for it actually here. This is time tracking. It's where you fill this out every 30 minutes of the day, basically. And then you can color code it for like what is client delivery, sales calls, acquisition, content, whatever it might be. And then you'll actually realize where your real bottleneck is here. Because a lot of people, when they have to diagnose their business bottleneck, what they do and what we as humans do is that we always say the thing that is the most painful, right? So like the most painful task for you to do and the one that drains you the most is typically the one that you'll point to and say, this is the thing that is bad, all right? This is the thing that I want to get rid of. This is the bottleneck. When in reality, there could be other bottlenecks. So Jack, I just want to challenge you to do the time tracking thing because you'll probably be quite exposed to maybe it's not delivery. But let's work on this question like it is delivery, that is your time constraint, all right? And usually for delivery, it's not really much about time constraint. It's more about energy, all right? So for the first... that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. All right. For the first 1.5 years of the digital coffee shop, I sold a one-on-one mentorship exactly like Jack. So people had calls with me 2 times per month. And I would have calls every, let's say this is Monday. So this would be a call block every Wednesday and every Friday. So this was always calls. And it would be like 5 to 8 hours of calls every day. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays would be for content recording, other stuff, working on program. And then Saturday, Sunday would be a mix of those without calls. But I would have these, and it would be highly, highly energy draining. I love taking one-on-one calls, but again, because it was draining me, I would say I don't like one-on-one calls, when in reality I just didn't like the volume of them. So I think, Jack, here, what I'm trying to say is that at the time I charged 9.5k for a 4 month mentorship. If you divide it out, it's 2.4k a month. I had around 60 hours of calls with clients every month, meaning that I had around like 25 active clients at its peak, meaning that my business was doing 45 to 50 grand a month. A little bit less, a little bit more, depending on how like people were paying. Then you have like peak months if people paid in full, and then it will balance itself out. The only reason to why this schedule was possible was because I didn't take sales calls, right? So I had time for content in between because I didn't do sales calls. But there I was really, really strict about my pricing, my availability, and the goal of the business, which was 500 grand a year. But now I want to get to 2 million a year, so I can't keep doing that schedule because I couldn't find 4x the amount of calls to take in my calendar to keep serving the current clients at its current price point, right? So I think first, Jack, if I were you, I would really, really dial in how many spots do you have available for the one-to-one, and is 1k pounds the right price for it, all right? Because pricing is not just you setting a price for delivery. Your pricing is everything. Your pricing is your anchoring. Your pricing is your like how you reverse engineer your business, because at the end of the day it's a numbers game. It is like taking where you want to go with the time, with the offer, the price, how many clients, how you get them. So it's like your price is not just something that you just like whip up in the air. So like for example, the way that it works now to work with me, right, is that there are group and one-on-one option. And the way that you set your prices for one-to-one versus group is pretty important because it's price anchoring, right? I want to show you here because this is the price anchoring for Fred's Inner Circle, which is a group-based delivery that is actually cheaper because it's 15.50 a month compared to 2.4k a month that it was over like a year ago to work with me one-on-one. So now because it's group, I have lowered the price to work with me, but I have more spots. So in total, my business makes more money and I spend less time on calls, which is win-win for everyone. And I'll get into why. But the most important thing here is that I also offer one-on-one. I have 4 people on my one-on-one with 5 total spots. I have 5 total spots because that is how much time and energy I want to spend with people one-on-one. Because as I said, I like working one-to-one with people, but it also takes a lot of my energy compared to where my hourly rate would be higher in my business to, for example, group delivery, so like content for clients, workshops, etc., but also content creation very heavily. My business is at a point where me making content is the highest form of leverage in terms of acquisition, etc. But let's say that I did this, right? So just like one small change, just $1,000, right? Suddenly, this thing up here, like get the group thing for 15.50 versus the one-on-one for just $950 more. I promise you, half of the people would have picked this thing instead, meaning that my business would make more money, but I would have way less time and energy. All right. So I think here, Jack, the first thing that I'm seeing is that you need to up the price of your one-on-one. All right. And it's very easy for me to say that. The numbers that I would look at if I were to look at your business numbers, I would look at your current acquisition process, and I would look at your demand, and I would look at your close rate. Because if you take sales calls, I would look at the price per call if you run ads. I understand that you do most of your business organically by this point, but if you're selling £1,000 a month for one-to-one and your close rate is above 40%, then I would raise the price. A good way to raise price is that you do, let's say, 3 spots at 1,000. Once you've sold those 3, you do the next 3 at 1,200, and then you do 3 at 1,400, and then you keep going up until the close rate starts breaking. Right? Let's say that this was 40% close rate. When it starts breaking, that is where you find the middle ground of like, now I'm happy with how many sales calls is on my calendar. My close rate has gone from 40 to 30, but my one-to-one has gone from £1,000 to £2,000. So everyone actually wins. Because where you'll also win, Jack, is that when it gives you a lot more flexibility. Because in my opinion, your group should be £1,000 a month, but your one-to-one should be 2k a month, right? Because it's fair. Fair holds no place in business because like it's a value equation. So I think, Jack, if I were you, I'd also look at the avatar that you serve, because you can help ADHD entrepreneurs who just started their business and makes £5,000 a month, but you can also help entrepreneurs with ADHD that makes 7 figures in a year and feels like their brain is holding them back from getting to 8 figures, right? That makes you more of an ADHD mindset brain coach rather than the business coach for ADHD entrepreneurs. I hope you feel me here, because it shifts them away from I come to Jack to fix understand my ADHD and how I can grow my business, to I have sorted the business stuff out, but now I want Jack's help to understand my brain a little bit more, because I know how to do business, but I don't know how these games that my brain is playing with me. All right. So I would consider like looking at your ICP here, Jack, because a lot of this can be your own limiting belief, because your business makes £10,000 a month. So why would people that makes £100,000 a month work with you? Well, it's because you put yourself in the business coach box. Whereas if you broaden that box up a little bit and put yourself in the ADHD and more like brain, more like I think you can feel what I'm trying to say here, Jack. Then it would give you the opportunity to serve bigger clients, because you can still keep this box here, right, for £1,000 a month, Jack's inner circle, group-based delivery, focused more on like business stuff, etc. But the big guys, Jack, they pay the big bucks to talk to you one-on-one for 2K a month, and then you just raise that along the way. All right. So I want to challenge you on your pricing there, because for a lot of people, just raising their prices in a way where it's anchored logically towards each other is the biggest lever that they can pull, especially when they have demand. And it seems like you have demand, Jack. So I think that's my reason. This is also way too little data. All right. I had 2 people sign up and churn within 4 months. Biggest reason probably to why these people churned is because they were paying too little. When people pay little, they're less committed. Because of less commitment, they take less actions. Less action gives them less results, so they churn. So always just because you think I'm spending less time with the person, I'm dropping my price, then you're actually doing them a disfavor, because you lower the value of your program and your way of working, basically. Because a lot of people think that the only way that they can retain people is through one-to-one coaching, because it's the highest form of proximity and where you can tailor things to people. But the best advice that I can give you there is that what people need is that people need a path. All right, people need a path. When people cannot see the path anymore, that's when they leave. All right. The best way to show the path for people is by you constantly walking the path. All right. So you need to be up here, Jack, for ADHD people. You need to constantly innovate, etc. And when your clients are here, they will never stop leaving. But if your client feels like they're standing here and Jack is not moving, Jack is not doing enough, not enough initiatives, not enough motion, not enough stories to tell, not enough, then people leave. So if people have clarity and direction, which typically comes from just like you, Jack, leading the way, then you'll always be good. All right. My renewal rate has averaged over 60% over the last 2 years, and where my renewal rate was at its lowest was when I had a waitlist, and that was where I thought my renewal rate would be highest, because I had more time for existing clients. So I didn't take on any new clients, because I was building Digital Coffee AI, which is how I deliver for clients now, which is my custom platform. I spent 4 months on this bad boy with all of these cool agents that helps you write your offer and write your content, and there's a classroom with my entire brain in it, right? But people couldn't see what the hell Fred was doing, because Fred was just standing still. He was just standing here. So my clients slowly and surely climbed up here, and I was just standing still. I had a lot of time for the client, but I wasn't doing anything myself, because I had a wait list. They couldn't see any new people entering the Slack. I wasn't putting out new offers. My content was standing still because I was building program. So I realized afterwards, and there my renewal rate was only like 27% after that 4 month period where I thought everyone was going to continue because I built this cool thing. But then I realized that no one really did, because I stood still, right? So I think, Jack, the most important thing is that people have clarity, right? Meaning they know what to do. They have direction, meaning where they will end up. They have a good understanding of how they have to do it and why. And then also an estimated time frame. If you can constantly provide this for people, then you are good, brother. Then you don't need to spend time on calls with them. But I would 100% do the £1,000 a month for Jack's Inner Circle for ADHD entrepreneurs wanting to grow their business. And then I would have a one-to-one offer with Jack, highly proximity with calls, private WhatsApp, all of these things for super high level people that are, or in general, just like people that are willing to pay the price that it costs because it's worth it. Yeah. And then consider if your current bottleneck is time, brother. And then do you need to really financially engineer your business based on your goals. I don't know your goals, brother, but like my goal is 168k a month, right? Which will take me exactly 64 clients in Fred's Inner Circle and around, I think it's 57 people on platform and then 5 people on my one-on-one. So I know exactly where I'm going. I know exactly how many spots I need to fill every month. I know the exact marketing needed in order to do so. I know exactly how to deliver for clients so they stick around. So the LTV is what I expect it to be. And then I just constantly try to improve on one of these things every single day. Not all of them at once, but every single day I try to work on one of these things. All right. So that was a lot, Jack. I want to throw the ball onto you now with the price increase, with a little bit of like different positioning so that people can understand when to work with Jack one-to-one and when not. You can take inspiration from my offer doc in terms of how I've outlined it. What I focus on is like personality and speed with me, and then knowledge, tools, direction, community, everything you need in order to build a digital coffee shop to 500 grand a year in profit in my group and my inner circle community. So you can take inspiration from that. Then I would challenge you on your time. I would challenge everyone that watches this video to fill out time tracking. I'll link time tracker, this thing, I'll link it under the video. Because time tracking is just like usually when your business scales, you have less time. And you didn't track your time before because you had lots of it. But now when you have less time, you default to your old way of problem solving, which is not the ideal thing. You need to track time first and then realize where it goes. And then try to set yourself hourly rates for time as well. The reasons why I removed sales calls was the fact that I realized that my hourly rate was higher on one-to-one calls with clients versus on sales calls because of lifetime value and referrals and all of these things. And then I also, then it was like sales calls versus content, and content beat the hell out of sales calls. And then it was like, I can also just hire a closer to acquire clients, but I don't like managing closers. I don't believe in coaching and consulting is supposed to be sold. I believe it's supposed to be bought. So then it was like a personal value and also just like logic. So that's just like some thought processes here, people. Hey Fred, no question, just letting you know I'm here every day. Enjoying these updates, keep crushing. Thank you so much. Jack, keep crushing. Hamad, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I think I want to like look at this, people. I opened this thing today because like I have it in as like a star marked tab kinda, or you can see I don't have any more because now it's season 2 that's star marked. But I usually have the season 1, and I was like, God damn, looking at the daily updates when I started, 6th of May 2025. This was season 1 that I did daily updates, and I did it for like 118 days or something. How I felt every day putting these numbers into the sheet. Like I grew 1 subscriber there. I grew 0, 0, 5, 4, 0, 0. It was like there I lost a subscriber. It's like everything good in life comes with showing up every single day, and that is my biggest reason for doing this thing. It's just to show you how magical it is to show up every single day, because no one really cared about going from 18 subs to 19 subs in 4 days. But like seeing the fact that you could start a brand new business, boring YouTube channel on the 6th of May, and then have an asset, a channel with 530 subs and dedicated people watching your videos on the 1st of September. So literally just like 4 months later. How incredible is that? But yeah, not a question, Hamad, but it's just like, hey, I remind like being here every day. That's also what I want to do. Be here every day, basically. Let's do business stats, people. Let's do business stats. So let's copy this thing here and then start with daily updates. 644. And then my main YouTube channel. 9,148. And my Instagram, 25,764. 64, 46. And now I can't remember. There we go. And yesterday the business did, let me copy here, 2,650. There we go. You can't see because of this webcam setup, because I'm in Greece, people. I'm on vacation. But I can tell you that the business has done 20 grand here in the first 9 days of August, which is cool. I'm happy. We're on track, which is good, which is very good. I think it will slow a bit down. I always have I have like, I would say like 55% of my revenue in the first 10, 11 days of the month, because that's usually where I take people on. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. And then last but not least, some strategy. I want to keep these videos to around 20 minutes, and we are at 21 minutes. So the strategy here was my question to Hamad's question, which was consistency. People, I want to, maybe you're not doing a daily updates publicly like I am, but like tracking your numbers every day is pretty cool. Like on the day that we started, right? The fact that we now have 200 more subs on YouTube, and we have 900 more followers on IG, and we've added 36 subs to daily updates, and the business has done 22 grand in literally just like 8 days, right? That's incredible. Imagine in a month from now, imagine in 2 months from now, if you want to do fun things with this thing, it's like to take, for example, the growth of the daily updates has on average been 0.64%, right? So it's like, I got 644 subscribers on YouTube, and my channel is growing 0.64 every single day. How many subs in 180 days? This is some fun math to do, people. It really is. Oh, there we go. We're back. Daily updates, if we keep growing, we'll have 2,000 subs in half a year, right? What if we do in 2 years? Can you imagine, people? 68,000 people being here in 2 years. That would be one hell of an achievement. But that is it, people. Thanks so much for watching.